Okay, just a reminder that this meeting is being recorded, and we're going to start it with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Just a reminder, I'm sure everybody already has, but sign in if you have not. Next, we're going to move on to the consent agenda. Take a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second. All right. Any questions? Okay. Motion. Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Approve the consent agenda. Next, we are on to public comment. And this is a time for comment on public matters that are not on the main agenda. Members of the audience are encouraged to briefly address the trustees on an issue that is not on the agenda. The chairman of the board will seek comments from the audience on significant items as they occur. Public matters do not include any pending legal matters, private personnel issues, or private student issues. Please do not attempt to address such issues at this time, or you will be ruled out of order. To ensure everyone has had an opportunity to speak, each speaker will be given a 2-minute time limit. Are there any public comments? Yes. Please state your name.
My name is Will Hyatt. I'm the board trustee representing High School District 1 for SD5. And that includes Smith Valley School, West Valley, Pleasant Valley, Olney, Bissell, and Marion. And we're just about, in our next board meeting, to begin the process of doing a levy for the high schools. And so I'm here to reach out to see if we can get some buy-in from Smith Valley District on that. And also, not just here to beg for support, but actually I represent this school and the graduates' experiences in the high schools after they leave. And I would like to also figure out what it is that you need, what you're looking for, what the families here are looking for. And I'll probably be reaching out to the administration to set up a meeting over the next couple of weeks to start the process of just some conversation back and forth.
Awesome. Good. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate
Oh,
it.
very well.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Okay. We will move on to informational items and reports. First, we have the administrator's report.
Okay, so I have this list of recognitions tonight. So I'm going to start with our staff members of the month. So the way that it works is our staff select a colleague or 2 colleagues. In this case, it was 2 colleagues based on certain qualities, and everybody has a chance to vote. And so I thought this month I would share with you the individuals that won the recognition of the staff for individual qualities. So I would like to let you know who they are. So for professionalism, being trustworthy and accountable, Mrs. Marquardt. For being approachable, Mrs. Marquardt. For being adaptable and flexible, it was a tie between Mrs. Marquardt, Mr. Eastman, Mrs. Galaney, Ms. Olson, and Mrs. Matulovich. And I'll give you this, Lacey. For adhering to school policy and procedures, it was Ms. Hanson. For being a team player, helpful and supportive, Mrs. Galaney. For being a good communicator, Mrs. Bradford. For seeking to self-improve, it was a tie, Mr. Connors, Mr. Sutter, and Ms. Hanson. For being patient yet expecting accountability, it was a tie also between Mr. Connors, Mr. Sutter, Ms. Olson, Ms. Hanson, Mrs. Matulovich, and Mrs. Canaday. For being involved and a school leader, it was Mrs. Marquardt. And for demonstrating understanding of child development, it was Ms. Hanson. So our staff recognized, they voted, and recognized all of those people for those individual qualities. And then when you add it all up, the staff members of the month that received the honor, and we did a combined month for November and December because they were shorter months, were Christine Hansen and Trish Marquardt. And because of that, they received school-wide recognition. They received a bulletin board feature, so if you walk down the hallway, it's all about them. They have a newsletter feature that will go in this week's newsletter, reader board recognition, a certificate of achievement, a small token of appreciation for myself, and this month was it was a gift card from Montana Coffee Traders or Cold Stone Creamery, and they also get preferred parking space for the month. So congratulations to Ms. Hanson and to Mrs. Marcoy for that, so well deserved. And then professional development, we've had a lot going on. So our paraprofessionals are finishing training courses through the Teacher Learner Hub. And those courses that they're finishing are the Introduction to Special Education and Introduction to Indian Education for All. All of our staff are finishing vector training, which they do yearly. This year it was a heavy load because they changed the Title IX requirement to, instead of having like 2-hour sessions with MTSBA attorneys, they can do it online through vector training. So they had all these sessions and individual videos to watch and to learn about different kinds of Title IX issues. So we're already finishing that. Most people are finished, but we have a couple that are still finishing. The Crisis Prevention Institute CPIB certification, January 29th, Mrs. Canaday, Ms. Hanson, and myself will get recertified. And February 26th, Ms. Kelsey, Mr. Brown, Ms. Evanson, and Mrs. Marcourt will get recertified. This week on Monday we had a staff work day and we had PACS leader training. Ms. Getting and Mr. Eastman provided teacher training on the PACS program, which means peace, as part of developing a consistent school climate. And then the last board meeting, we talked about the school climate survey, and I was able to find a free school climate survey through the Office of Public Instruction. We sent that to parents and staff over the course of the past 2 weeks, and students are finishing it this week in grades 3 through 8. And we will receive a report from OPI with the results, which we will use as a part of the accreditation process. So as soon as we're all finished with it, we'll just submit it, and they send it back within a week, and we'll have those results. And then as far as events, we have a lot of things going on because we are a very busy place. So 4th grade went ice fishing today. Thankfully, it was not as cold as yesterday. And then we have map testing for K through 4 this week, Wednesday, Thursday, and 5 through 8 on Monday and Tuesday. I will be attending the Principals Conference in Helena Sunday through Tuesday of this week. Community open house for the roundabout will be February 4th from 3:30 to 6 o'clock p.m. They'll be informational, so that will be here at the school. The winter parent-teacher conferences are February 7th, and that'll be an early out day and no PJ Club on that day. Middle school Valentine's dance, February 14th. The STEM fair, February 20th for grades 3 through 8. The chili cook-off, which is amazing. If you haven't gone, you need to go, February 21st. Missoula Children's Theater is coming. Last year we had partial funding from the ESSER grant. So this year the PTC said that they will fundraise $1,500 towards the event. The total cost is $3,000. We received a grant for $500, so we have to come up with another $1,000, which we will get from ticket sales. So that's easily covered by that. So that's super awesome. And the electric people were in yesterday, and they did the electricity for the portable. Trenchless was going to be here, but it was 0 degrees, so they couldn't do it yesterday. So they're hoping to come later in the week, and then all we have to do is get it connected for electricity. So moving along, a million things going on. Everyone's moving 1,000 miles an hour, so pretty awesome. I'm excited.
Thank you, Mrs. Matt.
Welcome.
All right, next we have map testing data. Stevenson?
Good evening. I was just gonna go over, we're just starting our winter, sorry, been fighting the cold, so, in winter, but we got our scores from fall to compare with our fall scores last year. School-wide, as a district, we went from the 52nd percentile to the 62nd percentile, which was a nice jump. Grade-wise, if we start at first grade, it went from the 55th percentile to the 74th percentile, so that was nice. Second grade went from 66th to 82nd. Third grade is one of the areas that went down. We went from 74th to 57th. Fourth grade went from 35th to 50th.
I'm sorry, you said the 3rd grade. Remember there was that discrepancy because some of them took the 4th
Third
grade
grade?
test by mistake.
3rd
graders, some of them took the 4th grade test by mistake, so that's No.
That was,
So I'm wrong, sorry.
we had one of the others where we had some kids take the wrong test. It wasn't in third grade though.
My fault.
And it was just a couple kids. Yeah, third grade, there, I'll go over that in a minute. Fourth grade went from 35th to 50th. Fifth grade went from 40th to 37th. Sixth grade, 43rd to 34th. Seventh went from 42nd to 59th. And eighth went from 64th to 66th. So we got some ups and downs. The place where we're focusing is like that 3rd through 6th grade area, so we can figure out why we're getting those drops. Some of it is that it only, because of kids moving in and out, we have kids that take the test in fall, but then they've moved, now they didn't take it again in fall again. So we've had a lot of movement in those grades, so that accounts for part of that. Some of it is just gaps, or some of those middle school kids get a little lazy. Had one of those myself. But we're just looking at some incentives to help build them up. One of the things we brought in that you guys approved, which was the reflex and frax program, so that has gone up and running. They've started the reflex already, which was the multiplication, addition, subtraction, division 1. The incentive on that is, if you look by my door when you walk down the hall, there's a poster board with a bar graph on it for 3rd through 8th graders, because that's who the program is for. And they are, as they solve problems, they get to move up the bar graph. The first classroom to hit 100,000 questions answered is going to earn a pizza party. So we're seeing some good incentives there. She thinks she's winning.
I'm going to win. 5th grade's going.
4th grade is catching up.
Okay. 5th grade's gonna win.
So they're excited about that. For school-wide, with MTSS, we started an incentive program to help with MAP score incentives. So this time when they go through and take the tests, school-wide K through first, for every point that they go up in their scores, they're going to get a 2-part raffle ticket. They're going to use the top part of that raffle to put their name on for class-wide raffles, where we've purchased some gifts that they can win. And then for the bottom part of that raffle, they'll be able to use in like a store, so everybody gets a chance to get something. There'll be things from like 1 ticket to 10 tickets that they can purchase with the tickets that they get. And I've heard some positive feedback. Some of the kids are really looking forward to getting those tickets and be able to win a prize or buy something at the store with that. So I'm hoping that we'll see some positive feedback and some good growth there. Because the one thing with the MAP, any of our tests that we take that are state mandated, we really try to focus on them being not treated as a race, to do their best. So Mrs. DeLong had her, oh, it's right up there. I made some posters up for all the classes at the beginning of the year for RELAX on different test taking skills. The RELAX is an acronym, and for each one it tells them, like for the R, it's to read it carefully, read everything like at least twice. And we went through the classes and really focused on that. So we're really trying to get the kids to slow down and focus on doing their best on these tests, so that we can see exactly what they know at that point in time. That's what I got.
All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right, next we are on to our clerk's report.
Okay. And I kind of peruse these, like the expenditure and revenue reports, just to see, and we're pretty much on track with where we were last year. I'm sure you guys do that, and I know you guys like those comparison reports, and they're handy. Pretty much on track with where I would expect us to be this year. We shouldn't, even though we're halfway through the year, we shouldn't be halfway through our spending, because we have those extra payrolls toward the end of the year. So if we were halfway through our spending now, we would be in trouble come June. So that's a good, we're in the right spot. And then you can see on the cash report that PJ Club is still hanging in there, still doing the stuff it needs to do. It's still skirting in the black, so we're looking good so far. Hoping it just continues that way for the rest of the year. So I don't have anything. Oh, and then the student report that we have at the bottom. I don't think there was anything major to report there. Our numbers went up a little bit. 3 kids, gained 3 kids in the elementary, so that was good. Every little bit helps. So we've got a couple new kids again coming this week. So like Crystal said, it just seems like it's just a shift this year, in, out, in, out. It's just been interesting, and it's not just us. It seems to be a valley-wide plague. So I'm not really sure what's going on, but there's a lot of shifting going around.
They're keeping me busy.
Yes. Keeping
Every time
everybody
somebody
busy.
comes in, I
Yeah.
have to add them to the testing system. When somebody goes out, I have to take them out of the testing system. So it seems like every time I turn around, I'm having to
Yeah.
bounce back and forth.
And
But
then
it's
the
good to
student
see new ones
information.
coming in.
Yeah. And then our student information system, and then Kelsey does things, and it's like a constant wave of work going on this year. So I'm not sure what's going on there, but we're not the only school feeling it. So that's what I have.
Hey, Dawn, on that, have you, any of the parents said anything to you about their kids coming in?
Nope.
Nothing, huh?
So the only time when they come into the district, the only time that they usually contact me is if it's a special education child. Otherwise, they just
Just
when they come,
drop off.
yeah,
and
there they
you go.
are. Yeah. That's not really a drop off. I mean, they don't come.
Here's my kid.
Parking lot.
It's like, here.
You gotta look
Yeah,
for
no,
the
there
wall.
is a process.
Just drop them at the door.
All right.
We
Thank
have,
you.
no, just got sled.
Yeah, thank you.
Welcome.
Anything else? Okay, questions? All right. Next, we're under our action agenda. The following items are for consideration and possible action. Personnel. Any offer of employment is contingent upon receipt of satisfactory criminal history background check and satisfactory drug and alcohol screening results, and for some positions, receipt of satisfactory pre-employment screening. First item is DMAT fiscal year 26 superintendent contract. I'll take a motion.
I'll make a motion for DMAT fiscal year 26 superintendent contract.
Second it.
First and second, all in favor say aye. Sorry, thank you, Ms. Bradford. Any discussion before we move forward? Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Next, we have M. Matulovich, extra duty stipend contract yearbook.
I'll make a motion for M. Matulovich extra duty stipend contract yearbook.
Second.
First and second, any discussion? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. I'll take a motion for C. Hansen extra duty stipend contract yearbook.
I'll make a motion for C. Hansen extra duty stipend contract yearbook.
I'll second.
First and second, any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. I'll take a motion to hire Kay, help me with that last name,
Bistido.
Bistido as substitute.
I'll make a motion to hire Kay Bistido as a substitute. I'll second that motion.
Any discussion?
So, who is this for again, Dawn?
Her name is Carissa Bistido. She wants to be a substitute teacher here.
Okay.
And so, to follow up on that, Don, just help me remember, in order to be a substitute, they first have to be on the list, and that's essentially what we're approving here.
Yes, you're
She
approving
will-
her to be on the
The
list,
list,
and,
okay.
and the background check, because she's already started that, so she's just waiting for the results of that, and I've
Okay.
already interviewed her.
Okay.
Good.
And you've still got a decent population of
Yes.
potential substitutes? Okay.
That's great.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Next, we have 300 building discussion. Facilities committee update.
I missed late.
It's okay because
Meeting
Joe
was-
said he was gonna give us a facilities committee update
I can
tonight.
provide a little bit of update. Good. A couple key takeaways was Rick reached out to MTSBA about the contract with McKinstry. There was a discussion about whether or not to get a formal release from McKinstry to basically conclude that contract. I think there was kind of a general consensus in the room that we don't really need that. We felt that the change order kind of concluded the contract with McKinstry already. So unless anyone feels differently, then you can move on. Next discussion was, moving forward, do we need drawings, or can we handle this with a written list of scope of work to do the repairs on the building? I don't know that we actually came to any decisions on that, but if drawings are needed, we feel that we'd have to hire an engineer or a drafting firm, someone to generate those drawings. So, if it was strictly the repair and replace scenario, we may be able to do it with a scope of work, detailed list of, here's what this contractor needs to do in the repairs, and they need to, follow their process to complete the repairs effectively. So, I had a note here about getting a second legal opinion potentially. I don't know if anybody else wants to speak to that. If MTSBA is not really providing the correct answer, or not the correct answers, but they basically want a retainer to answer any more questions that we have on the subject. So we could go to them, or we could seek legal opinion elsewhere. And then we kind of felt like we're to the point that we should start reaching out to general contractors and getting their opinions on the building and developing a list of, basically have them help us with that scope of work list. Here's the repairs that they see need to be done. And as a district, then we can build a scope of work to send out for a sealed bid process. And then as far as reaching out to the general contractors, we'd like to advertise to the community via multiple sources, such as the school newsletter, Facebook. Word of mouth is great, but rather than just going through the phone book and calling people, let's start with the community resources we have. So.
Was there any issue, Lacey? I know we discussed that it's kind of a catch-22 of if somebody came to look at it, then they can't bid on it if it goes up to bid.
Yeah, we discussed that at the facilities committee meeting, and we're all of the general opinion that we think that that's attached to the E-rate program only and not attached to these kind of projects. None of us have seen or heard anything attached to a construction project versus E-rate, so I think we're in the clear.
Cool. Yeah.
Everything's public discussion, so you really can't have a secret.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. I don't know if there's any other discussion. That was all my notes had. So.
Was there a next meeting formed?
Mm-mm.
No,
Not planned. No,
not planned. Okay.
So I think the next steps were, like Joe said, just start to solicit meetings or consultations or first appointments with general contractors. And
Yeah.
let them-
Place in the newspaper and all that.
Yeah.
Do we want to have a meeting to discuss exactly, hey, this person can go ahead and get a hold of the newspaper or whatever, or just decide now?
As far as a point person to take
For
action on?
getting, yeah, just for getting information out, what point of contact and all that.
I think the committee was more thinking, instead of going the newspaper route currently, since we don't have a scope of work, was to go more localized, like the newsletter,
Yeah.
the constant contact system, the reader board maybe, and basically putting out a cry for help, like, hey, does anybody,
Word of mouth.
do we have some general
Yeah.
contractors in our district that would like to, or in our area, that would like to help us out with the scope of work for our 300 building to make it habitable again? is kind of what the committee was talking about doing, but we wanted to talk to the whole board today to say, you know, where are you guys at with that? What are you thinking? It's kind of why it's under this discussion and possible action to see if the board wants to take action on next steps of what should we do moving ahead. Because we're kind of, the committee can't really do much without the board choosing to do something.
So I think is your question picking a point person? Like if somebody talks to somebody in
Yeah.
the community, who do they talk to, or who can we?
I think we're at that step, yeah, that we should have a point of contact.
That you?
We could possibly schedule our next facilities meeting and then have open meeting basically with contractors. Could be an option as well.
Let's schedule it, get the word out and say, hey, we're having a meeting.
At this time and date, and
Not a bad idea.
it may not work with everyone's schedule. Hopefully it's warm and we can go into the 300 building.
The 300 building has heat, yeah.
30 degrees, that's fine.
I don't have,
Yeah, I like the approach. I mean, yeah. Minus a very specific scope. Yeah, I mean, we're still exploratory at this
Yeah.
point, so doesn't sound like there's any harm in coordinating a meeting and throwing the word out via.
I don't really feel comfortable being a point person because I don't know what I'm a point person for. I don't have any knowledge about that's kind of what we're attempting to gain, I
Well,
think, is the knowledge of
What we can do is essentially just build a catch basin for whoever wants to, if they have any questions, hey, you know, I want to look at this, can I schedule a time? And we can just do my email. And so if we put it on the board, contact this email or however we want to word that, so that if they have questions or they want to schedule a time, they at least have a point of contact to look at the building.
that'd be better.
And I can always walk people through.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, whenever I'm here, they can just come and say, can I see the building? Sure,
If you're
come and
good,
see it.
if you're good with that,
I'm good with that. And I
So-
love giving tours of that building.
Okay.
I
So
do.
I could also volunteer, if a contractor wants to come see the building, I can come and walk through it with them and answer questions.
That'd be awesome.
So I think Mrs. Matt be a point person, and then you can have your team of people to
Yep,
pull in and help.
can do that.
Okay.
Can you guys let us know what you want on the reader board, the newsletter, on Facebook, so that we can get it on there?
yes.
Just
Yeah,
like
that-
some detailed information of what exactly you want us to put out there. Because it'll be Trish and I that do that.
Okay.
So, and you can just email us or email Dawn and she'll forward it to us and we'll get it up there ASAP.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, is there anything action or anything that we, as a board, that the board needs to approve on that?
I mean, the facilities committee talked about the board taking some form of action to put it out there on those.
Okay.
So do we need a vote to
Take a
move
motion
forward
then
with?
to,
I think a
I got
motion is a good
another
idea.
comment on that. Is right now the motion on the table, or the action on the table was to demolish the building. Does that need to be rescinded prior to a motion to?
I think it already was.
I think
It
we
wasn't.
already did that.
It was-
No,
I believe it was.
Nope. You guys did not ever undo
We
that.
just never moved forward with any action on it, but that was the last.
We tabled it.
Nope. You guys haven't done anything ever since you said you wanted to demolish it because you said that you were, since it wasn't a timeline, you never set a time frame
Ah,
of when you were
gotcha.
gonna demo
Okay.
it, you just left it.
That's right.
Question.
It's still currently set to be demoed
Okay.
at some date that's
So,
not stated.
Do you want quotes on that too, though? On two separate?
on demoing the building?
Yeah, while they're there, do you want both? To see your real options are?
I don't think it's necessary at this point in time.
If a demolition contractor comes in, then yes.
Yeah, but
Otherwise,
any
I would say
information
no.
doesn't hurt and it's helpful.
Yeah.
That's-
When we do
Good
the
idea.
walkthrough, we always ask them, because we don't need a motion to ask stuff like that, right? Like if they're already in the building.
Well, and remember, at this point, we're not collecting bids, right? We're
Right.
just
Right.
collecting recommendations or
Information.
information.
And I don't know if a motion is even necessary. I mean, it's.
Except for that, Joe's point
Yeah,
with that motion.
so I make a motion that we reevaluate 300 building. If we're going to demolish it or look at other options. Is that worded well? Is that what we're done?
Sounds good to me.
Jason does.
I'm sorry, motion to reevaluate the 300 building to see if we are going to move forward with demolition or other options.
Or
Repair options.
Or repair options.
Or repair options.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. First and second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. So next step is to set up another facilities committee meeting.
I think next step
For
is
clarity.
to post the stuff, right? Or not? The newsletter and the, is that what?
Should we set a
We need
date
to come up with the
for the meeting?
verbiage that goes in the newsletter and the reader board and stuff, so.
Okay, so who picks that? Us as a whole entire board? Do we have to approve what message?
I don't think so.
I would
I
just
don't even
apply.
think the facilities committee as a whole needs to get together to do that, in my opinion. We already talked about it last night. We already said what we, yeah, I mean,
And we have a
you could say it
motion
right
for-
now and
Okay.
say, you could talk about it right now. I mean, what was it that you guys, on the facilities committee, what is it that essentially you want general contractors
Yeah.
to come out
I
and
think so.
look at the building and tell us
What needs to be done.
what needs to be done to it to make it habitable, yes?
Yeah.
So, is that, I mean, as far as putting that on the reader board, Mrs. Matt could come up with some sort of
Yep.
language and she could even shoot it out in an email to the facilities committee
That was
and
just
we
a
could just say,
suggestion.
yeah, sounds, looks good. We're not taking action on anything, we're just approving something for a reader board.
Great. Sounds
Does that
good.
sound good to everybody?
Should we set the next building facilities committee meeting so that we can put it on the board? Or hold off on that?
Put it on the calendar? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I think we should schedule it, I don't think it needs to be done during this meeting.
Yeah,
That works
I
for
don't know that it's necessary to schedule it until we have some contractors that reach out to us or don't, I guess. Because if we don't have anybody, then we will need to have another meeting to figure out what do we do.
Right.
Okay.
And if we do have them reach out,
But we can still have a meeting after we have, a couple of opinions.
Yeah.
Right?
yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. Next, we have Bruco Incorporated Tenant T300E floor scrubber quote.
Want to talk about that, Jay?
Floor scrubber we have now is needing so much maintenance that, well, we just had it in the repair shop and it was around $800 to fix it. So I went and got it, ran back and put stuff in it myself, made it work. But we need a bigger scrubber because that one's 14 inch and it takes a long time to do the gym, way longer than it should. So we're looking for a bigger, better scrubber.
It's also not efficient.
Right,
Right.
I'm not sure how good that one is, but it was here before I got here, so. It's needing lots of repair quite often, so. I mean, I'll fix it when I can.
So these are just leasing?
No, we
No,
thought
that's
about
the
lease,
purchase.
because they will come out and work on it.
Okay.
That would be
And-
$24,000 to
Yeah.
lease.
Yeah, it was-
24,000. So you
And
can
it's
buy
an
it a lot cheaper.
$8,000
You could buy 3 of them for the price of
Yeah.
one.
Exactly. Exactly. Just blows me away. How can people charge so much money for 3 years?
Yeah.
How do they do that for
And
leasing?
does that cover
So at the very
does
top
it cover
line.
service?
The very top line is
The
right.
lease does.
The lease covers service?
Lease
But we
covers
pay
service.
for,
So we pay for
parts.
parts.
they work on it, but.
Because I do know, we run one of these at our shop, and I do know they are always a lot of maintenance,
Yeah.
even newer ones. And so then I kind of started looking a little bit. I know there's some half the price,
We've looked at
There's a
lots of them.
like
3-year
Marketplace,
factory.
Craigslist, and then there's a whole spectrum of things.
There's a 3-year factory warranty on that machine. But after that, yeah.
Thing is if you lease one, it's costing you $24,000 just to lease it. If you buy it outright, it's $8,100.
Yeah.
88.
$8,800, sorry.
Either way, it sounds like the one we've got is on its last leg.
I mean, it's still working? Okay, yeah.
How old is it?
I don't know how old it is. It's, like I said, it was here before I got here.
It was here when I started.
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm sure it's old.
It's- Even when I first started, it was in the repair process frequently.
Yeah.
The problem that Jay encountered, I hope you don't mind if I speak.
I don't mind a bit.
The problem that Jay encountered is he contacted different vendors through Amazon, and he said, well, who would work on it if something happened? And they were like, we don't know. We don't know who you'd get to work on it. And so Jay contacted people around here. No, we wouldn't work on that. So,
Wouldn't work on this machine?
no, I
No,
don't think
Amazon, we looked on Amazon because they were cheaper models.
Yeah.
I,
Everybody talked to said you can't get parts for them, and no, we won't work on them.
This one has a local distributor and
Yes.
representative.
In Montana, yes. Yep.
And then we're gonna still hang on to the other one for the purpose of working on this building, because it doesn't need as much work as the gym. So any more like batteries and things, like just purchase batteries for it, any more stuff like that would be not nearly the cost of a new machine, but to keep it as long as we can without having to sink a lot of money into it.
Can we sell the old one? Or is it not worth the?
What's that?
Can we sell the old one?
Well, I've tried to get a trade-in on them, and they won't give you, we'll take it, but
Yeah.
we ain't give you anything for them.
What's the 24,000? Is this to lease it over 3 years or to lease it?
60 months was
For
24,000, I
5 years,
think,
okay.
and what was it, 18 for the 36
I
months?
want to say it's 21,000 for the.
21, okay.
okay, so there's a get down.
So I need-
Plus you have the down payment at the beginning, say the down payment and the leasing fee,
So there's a down payment
plus
plus.
the leasing fee.
for this
That's why
unit.
that's up, yeah.
So I saw one unit on, I think it was Facebook Marketplace or something like that. It had 2,000 hours on it, which is getting up there, but it's half that price.
Do you just use that for the gym, or is that for in here too?
Oh, we use it in here also, yeah.
It's in here too.
Yep. Classrooms, the hall, everything. Good thing about the one we have is small. So
Right.
you can bring it in the classroom, use it.
Would you have
Is it-
issues with this larger one in here? Because
In the hall,
obviously for
it'd
the
be
gym.
fine, but,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, in the classroom, you'd have to move tables and stuff out of the way in order to
And
use the
so,
bigger
so
one.
at least twice a year, you would use the bigger one in this building, at least twice a year. When school is not in session,
Summertime.
you know,
Yeah.
breaks and
Is it
stuff.
cheaper just to contract that out, since we're using it twice a year in here?
I'm
Or,
not sure that, I've never looked into that, so.
I mean, just to save time and get money, but, I mean, is that an option? Has that ever been done, or no?
So we haven't looked at it, if we're checking it out.
We use it twice a year where? Just
In
in
this
this building?
building,
Just in this
But in the
building?
gym,
How
we
often
use it.
is the gym?
in the gym frequently.
We use it in the gym a couple, 3 times a week in order to, just to scrub the gym floor. So we use it a lot.
You got a lot of traffic in there with lunches and school sports and students. Some days.
PJ Club.
Yeah, club.
Yeah, it's a well-used machine.
That would be my only reason for, even though valid cost-wise, it doesn't, kind of makes more sense to buy it. But if you're using it that much, leasing it sometimes ends up working out better because they're paying for all the service with all those hours that are being on it.
You still have to pay for parts though.
I get it.
you know.
I get it.
Buy 3 of them for the leasing price almost.
They come out once a year to service it, and then if anything's wrong, they'll come work on it.
So
For the purchase
obviously-
price or the leasing? For the purchase?
The leasing.
The
When you lease
leasing.
it, yeah.
Didn't you say it has a 3-year service warranty on it?
It has a 3-year factory warranty on the
Right.
machine, so, yeah,
If you buy.
if you buy it outright. yeah.
So that would cover the parts if we buy it,
Right,
but not the service center.
yeah,
Problem.
yeah.
And we gotta follow the service schedule to the T. I'll take a motion, boys.
I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of the Bruco Inc. 10T300E floor scrubber.
I'll second that.
Okay. Any further discussion? We all have to vote, right?
Yes.
It's tough. Okay. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
Me too.
Oh my God, it'll be our first one that.
I said aye. It was that recent $800 bill. That's,
Yeah.
yeah.
Good discussion.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you all very much. Okay. Next, no correspondence. And then special discussion, graduate profile.
So gentlemen, the graduate profile is something that we sent out a survey to the community last year to all stakeholders, and they completed the survey. And then this year, part 2 of that, for accreditation purposes, is to submit a graphic design. So I have created 3 different designs, totally different, and we have a public relations committee meeting on Thursday to talk about the content, which is a summary of the spreadsheet that I created, and also to look at these designs. So I thought that you might want to see them. One of our requirements is to make sure they are posted in every room in the school to make sure that the community has seen them. And so that the word is out there. They'll be on the website, they'll be everywhere else. And what I would like when we have our public relations meeting is for them to decide on 2 of these 3, and I will send them out to the communities and they can vote to choose what they would like to see. So you have 3 very different ones to look at. And the reason the one on your computer that you have of this, like this, it's distorted because I was trying to get it to fit, and I wasn't realizing I was trying to fit it on an 8.5 by 11 page, and this is like, of course, not that. So the one you have is distorted, and it would look like this. And then because of this template, I would have to put this little logo somewhere, and so I'd probably put it very, very tiny at the very top on the right over here. So you would barely see it, but it would be there. And then the other ones are ones that I've completely created on my own.
I'm assuming are these for us to keep?
They are for you to keep
Hang on.
if you want.
Okay.
Yeah. And you have them on your computers.
Yeah, thanks. I still like paper. And I'm so glad someone's still using legal paper also.
So they all have exactly the same content. The learner profile is, like I said, these are drafts, so they'll be whatever changes the public relations committee would like to see. We can fix them up a little bit more and then send them out for approval. But I wanted you to see them just so that you have an idea what's going on.
Thank you.
And then at the next board meeting, they will be officially approved and final product.
All right.
I like the big one.
Would you like the big one?
I like the simple one.
I like the
I
third
want to
one.
choose the 3rd.
I like the
What's 1, 2, and 3?
One thing I need to tell you is that I came up with this, and if you don't agree with it, then you need to tell me now or forever hold your peace. So the strong, visionary, successful thing, so the middle school teachers are like, we should have something for SVS. I'm like, oh my gosh. So literally for a year, I've been thinking about this, and I came up with strong, visionary, successful. But if you don't like it, please tell me, and I'll change it. I'll take it out. I'll do something.
Where are these going to be posted?
So strong, visionary, successful, SVS. So right on the simple one, it's in the green circle.
Where are these gonna go up?
Oh, they will be posted in every classroom. They will be in the gym. They will be on our website. They will, we just have to make them noticeable so that everyone sees them.
Okay.
So at Evergreen School, theirs are like this big, and there's at least two in every classroom. They spent $25,000 on theirs.
That's where the money went.
We're not
So
gonna
I
spend that
choose
kind
the
of
small
money.
one.
Yeah.
We're not gonna spend that kind of money.
Yeah. What do you like,
Is
note
there a
card?
pocket size?
Yeah. Pocket size, perfect.
But I don't know how you feel about the
Besides
SDS
laminator
strong voice
pouches.
stuff.
No,
Well, I
we're not
thought it was
laminating.
okay, so. And the Public Relations Committee will talk about that too.
Wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome, of course.
Okay, calendar committee. Yeah, anything else?
Nothing else, no.
Calendar committee.
So we need to get our school calendar going. So it'd be nice to have one or two board members, and then I can reach out to the same people that were on the calendar committee last year, and if they want to do it, then we're good. If we need some more people, then we can get more people. So I would need to know from you guys if you want to be on it, and then what days you're not available. So when I'm scheduling meetings, I don't schedule them for when we can't come.
Okay. All right.
So who would like to be on that committee
You want answers now.
today?
I like it. I don't like it, but I like
Let's see, who's on the least amount of committees?
it. Yeah.
This
Cody.
public relations committee meeting that I have soon is gonna be so much of my time. So much.
Like the facilities one that you didn't come to.
Policy.
I should have came, cause I had a contractor at my house and he's like, yeah, like
Hey, she
40,
just brought him.
50,000.
Hey, let's go for a drive.
I've been waiting,
Talk on the way.
so he will be coming.
Who paid claims today?
We don't know, we forgot.
That guy.
I'll
No,
do
that
it.
wasn't Cody's fault, that was my
I already
fault.
gave you recognition.
I'll do
I had to
it.
give him a hard time.
Okay, so Cody, thank you.
I volunteer as tribute.
Thank you, Cody.
Way to go, Cody.
And it's up to you, we don't have to have two, we can have just one if you want, just so we have a
Bob,
voice.
Can we all do it?
Can you
Bob.
all do it as long as you don't make a motion or take action on something?
You cannot all do it. You can only have two. You cannot have three,
Me
because
and-
then it is an actual board meeting.
Write down me and Bob.
You're gonna tell him? Yeah, for you.
I'm not scared.
All right.
So are you serious, you want me to write down?
No,
No,
don't worry about
no,
that.
no,
He is.
no.
What? So it's you for right now, Cody, okay?
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Can you send me an email?
Of course.
Cool.
You'll be our board rep, thank you.
All right. If there's nothing else. Thank you, everybody. Meeting is adjourned.
Thank you all. Appreciate it.